lefty Tellez to serve. Let's play pickleball. And Ben thought he missed the return, ended up being perfect.
Great return. And Tellez is a very streaky player in singles as well. I believe he's made some deep runs this year. I know a final in Red Rock. Good look there, just missed. And an interesting thing that is always fun to monitor with Ben is his dislike for playing lefties.
Point.
I always kind of factored that in. I know he struggles a little bit with Tyler Leung in singles, so it's something to keep an eye on in this matchup.
Yeah, lost in Cincinnati last year to Leung as he was just slapping the left-handed forehand past him. And right on cue. I love when the players just give us a visual for what we're talking about. So really nice from Tellez. And it'll be interesting with Stack's route out of the draw, whether Fed shows up. They've been very supportive of each other
usually
on the
Pablo
benches.
is always on the bench.
Yes. Wow.
Point.
That was a violent
Roping
forehand.
Pablo Tellez has one of the best forehands.
3-0.
It's so heavy. His serve is very heavy. It can be a little more inconsistent, but the consistency is definitely coming.
Good volley there from Ben Johns to get the ball back. Nice start, though, for Tellez.
0-3.
Oh, my, that's in. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Ben Johns on the dead run after lobs and track downs. What a rally this was.
And what an amazing get. And then an even better shot.
2 inches inside the line, and Tellez can do nothing more than go. All right, he's goading.
1-3. Let reserve.
And we will replay a serve that goes off the tape and stays in the court. That's just a replay. Our referees, you'll hear Nancy Packer-Zena, Howard Hepworth second, and Leslie Shaughnessy is our tracking referee. And Ben wants to keep the same ball in play, so we're not throwing it around the infield after a strikeout there.
Set out.
Yep, Ben looked at his paddle. You got to blame it. And it's his signature on there.
Absolutely. It's a good paddle, let me tell you.
Yeah. Comes from fellow Yola user Leah Jansen here in the booth.
Here we go.
Set out.
Great movement, but that's essentially what Ben is going to want to do. He might play Pablo's forehand straight out of the gate to get him running towards the backhand corner.
Point.
And Ben has really upped the ante on the pace on his serve in 2023. It is heavy.
It is big. Hands. And the placement is always amazing to me. Ben hardly serves anyone in the same spot 3 times in a row unless it's for a purpose.
3-3.
See Tellez getting as far back as he possibly can to receive.
Jeez. What a return, though.
Generous, generous.
That was very close to the back edge of the line. Ben plays as fair a line as anybody on the tour, so knotted at 3 here in the quarterfinals.
3-3.
Yes, good Ben.
Just too good from Ben Johns right there. Had the Colombian Tellez running all over the court. Good shot there before the return of the crew, showing just how tight to the back end of the court Tellez is getting to try and give him a little bit of room back there.
Looks like there is a lot of room, too. That's how much room he needs. I mean, all of his serves are in, like, the back.
I mean, we're talking 4 inches.
Yeah, it's so impressive.
Then he missed his signature inside-out drop there that he loves to use. It goes to a forehand, though, here, so it's a little different outcome.
It's a good look there from Pablo. Not as good as one he's got. Playing Ben Johns, even a tough shot like that, you have to make.
Yeah, there's just no give or margin. Just deep from Tellez. So we have a lot of new viewers on Prime Video. Why is this guy the #1 player without question in Ben Johns?
Because he has every shot in the book. He's very skilled. And the way his brain works, he knows if he hits the ball here, you have to hit the ball here. And he constructs his points like that. So he's always playing chess and a few shots ahead of you.
Look at this. We're still going. Oh, and it's Tellez who has the final answer after everyone in the place thought Ben would be going ATP there, and he brought it back, and it's actually Tellez who ends up with the ATP, and then here's the winner.
Asking for the crowd to get into it there, as he should.
I mean, if the crowd doesn't get into it after that, I mean, that's as good a singles point as we've seen all day, and that's the talent in this guy.
3-5.
Great shot.
And you've mentioned the challenge with lefties. These two have played twice before. Ben won both, but it was 11-9, 11-8 in Florida Open and 11-9, 11-7 in Arizona earlier this year. So these are very tight matches that they've had in the previous two.
I think both Pablo has had some good opportunities in both games to make a move to win a game. So. I actually think Pablo has been returning great.
Yeah,
the quality of serve coming at him.
6-4. Set out.
Whoopsie.
He looks pretty annoyed. Not usually a shot that happens to him.
No, because he welcomes that to get the point construction and the chestnut checkers going, and couldn't get pawn to rook 1 there at all.
That's a good heavy serve. Yeah, I think Pablo has to really match the pace. He can really put a lot of spin on his serve as well and push Ben back.
5-6.
So good from Tellez. You don't see Ben off balance very often, and he was twice in one rally.
That was a really good pass combo to the close.
6-6.
Oh, and had Ben easing towards the forehand and went back to the backhand again, and it is Tellez up 1.
I mean, and it's all set up by these great serves, really. He's able to get ahead in the point.
And this is another emotional player. We saw Gabe Joseph ride that and took it to the finish line. Tellez nodding to the crowd there.
Let's go.
Oh.
Set out.
All right, get this out of here.
It's a great run by Tellez, though.
6-7.
Just
Point.
drops.
Sir, yes, sir.
I think Tellez was looking for that inside-out drop as he himself was a little bit off balance there. And in Vegas, lucky sevens on the board here.
7-7.
All right, there you go.
Point.
3-3-1, sir. Same day morning.
Tellez considering a timeout, but then changes and back to receive. So 8-7 Johns.
8-7.
What was there?
Side out.
Just at the top of the tape. That would look like perfectly
Yeah.
set up for a winner, and Ben knows it.
7-8.
Just stand.
Side out.
Man, the intensity of these rallies, I mean, those are not easy volleys that he's having to make.
No, and I don't know about you, but I'm really
8-7.
impressed by Ben's two-handed backhand.
Yes.
Especially on the return.
And that's just too good there. Runs around it inside in. And I think a lot of people have, especially in singles, gone away from cutting the return and setting up your opponent to driving through it. And Ben is certainly a proponent of that.
9-7.
No timeout.
Side out.
He saw the future and knew a missed serve was coming.
Yeah, I was about to say the men trust themselves way more than I would. I would have already called 2 timeouts in this game, but both times he's won the point.
7-9.
And another lefty clean pass for Tellez, and he is within one.
Eight, 9.
Oh my goodness, he had the entire inside out court and pushed it.
He sold that so well.
Just threw his whole body to the right there and just had it.
9-8.
Take it.
That's tough.
Let's go.
Not clean either. He's missed a few, just kind of shanked them.
Yeah, a little clunky. So Ben Johns pushed, but is sitting here at a game point here in our first quarterfinal. And that will do it with the missed return. So Ben Johns.
So if Pablo wants to win this match, he's really got to bring it in these next couple games physically.
Yeah, a couple missed returns, and your brother has been hammering serves in this match.
Yeah, which I feel like is smart here, just with the dry air, and the ball's flying a lot more than you would think, despite the hot weather. I was out on the court this morning practicing a bit, and I had so many returns fly on me, just much further than you'd think. And you're used to that in Vegas, but when you're playing with a soft, mushier ball, you don't expect it quite as much. Wow, that is as many returns as you'll see a top player miss in a row. Is that 4 or 5 now, Dave?
Well, it's a few at the end of game number 1 for sure, so that's 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5, yes. That is very unusual. And this is the sort of point Ben likes to play.
Point.
And just has Tellez in. So great start for Ben here, up 4.
Point.
And you see the two-handed roll drop by Ben there. That's one that we've been working on recently, and I feel like he's definitely dialed that in the last couple months more than in the past, and it's definitely showing in singles more than anything. That's trouble.
Ooh, and Tellez catches it right off the edge of the line there.
Yeah, you better find a line there because that's not looking promising. With Ben coming forward, he's going to want to play those cat and mouse points with Pablo, but Pablo comes with a great shot.
Try some sort of Padel shot off the side wall there. That is not legal here in pickleball.
Yeah.
And you can see the first volley Ben hit there is to the backhand. And that's where if you go back to the forehand, you can get in spot of bother just because you can create more spin, more power on the stretch with that forehand.
5-0.
And another missed return.
So, folks, if you want to be great at singles, get that serve practice. How does Ben practice his serve?
Mostly he practices in matches or practice matches. Specifically practice, I'll go after it a little bit more. But as far as hitting baskets of serves, that doesn't really occur all that often.
Beautiful volley from Tellez there.
But I feel like practicing it in matches, even if it's not a big match, maybe it's a first round match, getting reps when you're actually playing. Because the hardest thing for most people when they're hitting aggressive serves is doing it when it really matters. Because it's one thing to go out with a basket of balls and crank 100 serves nice and deep on the baseline, but you get out there and it's 9-9 in the first game, you start to get a little tense, and it's hard to force yourself to go after the serve.
Yeah, and the next thing you know, you're lobbing it in the middle of the box.
I can relate.
Good hands from Ben there. That sails deep. Yeah, there's a lot of great golfers that are unbelievable on the range.
Yes. Sadly, you don't get extra points for that.
Wow, now the two-handed backhand passing shot. So we saw the roll earlier, now the down-the-line pass. And guess what, folks? Ben's adding to the arsenal.
Yes, and those two work better in tandem because obviously you're looking for that roll cross court that he hit a few points ago, and now the line is open. So we'll see if Ben goes back to the roll in the next one. Might not have to if Pablo keeps giving away this many points on returns. It's one of the biggest keys about being good at singles is you just can't miss returns. Which is not to say that it's easy because Ben is rocketing serves and you can't just feather it in the middle of the court because he's going to do all sorts of things from there. But if you really want to be good at singles and give yourself a chance in any match, you got to be really disciplined about hitting to bigger parts of the court.
Good eye, Ben.
A little deep on his serve as well. So Ben gets the ball back within 3 of moving on to the semifinals.
And if I heard rightly, Dave, we had a couple upsets earlier in the day.
We sure did.
A couple of the seeds went down.
Yeah, so Ben is going to play the winner if he gets through this, to be crystal clear. We've seen lots of comebacks in pickleball.
Yes, I think we were on the mic in San Clemente together when he came back on JW, when it was looking pretty grim. I mean, 11-8, 8-1 looks promising for Ben, but things change very quickly in pickleball, so you never know.
Indeed. So Garnett and Joseph will be in the other quarterfinal to set up a semi in this section of the draw.
And Gabe Joseph getting his first PPA title out in California, I think it was, not that long ago, a couple months ago.
One in his backyard and took out a very good player in Alshon, and then J.W. Johnson just knocked off Tyson McGuffin, so he's moving on. And the missed returns continue.
9-1.
Pablo even calls his own ball there. Ben, I think, was playing that.
I think Pablo may have called out the drop, or no?
No, yours was one.
I'm not sure if he was calling his own ball out, or...
I think he's calling his own ball out there, yeah. So we are at match point.
10-1.
Nice Nice little drop volley from Tellez.
And I'm not saying Pablo's packing it in, but there is a level of resignation when you're giving the opponent calls at to get to 10-1, to get to match point.
That's pretty from Tellez. Saw a bunch of that in game number 1.
Yeah, good footwork to get around that all the way and hold it for just that extra second. That's what gets the winner more than anything. You get around it in time, and now Ben's got to cover both sides.
Point.
A little better to miss returns when you're already up 10-2 to get to 10-3. Oh, and there's the one that I was talking about where he drives the first one, and then Ben barely gets his paddle on that. But it gets really dangerous if you float it to the lefty forehand there on the close. And Pablo ended up missing it, but that's not somewhere you want to live.
No, that's one he's usually going to be hitting back for Tellez to serve, but not in this case. Another chance to head to the semis.
And another deep serve. Oh, actually,
oh my.
And Ben goes for the biggest drive of the tournament, if I had to guess. And ends up hitting it in the bottom of the net. But yes, again, not the cleanest return on that.
No, Frame City. And another missed serve. Let's see if Ben goes for something with just under 1 million miles an hour on the forehand this time.
Here we go. 10-3.
Fantastic return under the most critical situation. Gets that ball back again. You just never know.
Yeah, he might have gotten it dialed in just in the nick of time here. We'll see. And that's a pretty big serve.
Point.
Looks like it caught the baseline there. Not coming up very much.
Off.
Yep.
Yeah, I talked to some players that said the court is playing slower, but everything else is faster. So you got to sort of calibrate those two factors.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that yesterday. Whenever we come to this tournament, PPA Championships, and it's hosted at this venue at Darling Tennis Center, I feel like the tennis courts underneath are probably gritty to start with, and it makes the court, once they overlay the pickleball court, it makes it even grittier.
And that is a gritty finish for Ben Johns as he